I've been a priest for 20 years. 2 decades of baptisms, funerals, first communions, and hundreds of weddings. I've seen it all: nervous grooms fainting at the altar, flower girls staging impromptu dance breaks, even a runaway ring bearer who turned out to be a very enthusiastic golden retriever. But nothing prepared me for Melissa. She didn't just want a wedding. She wanted a spectacle, a legacy, a Pinterest-perfect, Instagrammable, spiritually rebranded, vibe-aligned cosmic event, with her as the undisputed star. And from the moment she walked into my office, wearing designer heels, oversized sunglasses, and a binder labeled Melissa and Tim, the Divine Union, Final Draft V.12, I knew I was in for something special. Her first email had already set the tone. Father, I expect a perfect ceremony. No mistakes, no delays, no interruptions. This is not just a wedding. It's a frequency alignment. I blinked. Frequency alignment? But hey, I've learned to meet people where they are. So I replied with kindness, offering to discuss liturgical options within church guidelines. Big mistake. What followed wasn't a conversation. It was a mandate. She wanted her vows rewritten to include not just Taylor Swift, but 3 specific lyrics from Lover, Enchanted, and Long Live, all seamlessly woven into a sacred covenant of soul resonance. She demanded the processional last exactly 2 minutes and 47 seconds, the runtime of Enchanted, and insisted the organist rehearse it with a stopwatch. When he gently pointed out that live music doesn't work like a Spotify playlist, she snapped, "Then metronome it, Gary." His name was Frank. She banned lilies, too funereal. She vetoed the traditional white runner, too basic. She replaced it with a custom-made, hand-dyed silk aisle in celestial blush with aurora undertones. It cost more than my monthly stipend. And then came the vestments. "Father," she said during our 3rd planning meeting, "your black cassock is problematic." Problematic. Yes, it reads oppressive, and it clashes with my palate. I need you in white, head to toe, even your stole. I explained, again, that priests wear black or purple or white depending on the liturgical season, not the bride's mood board. She stared at me like I just suggested serving cake made of gravel. "Then we'll make an exception. Consider it a collaboration." When I declined, she sent that infamous email. Subject, "Do better, Father. This is your one chance to rise to the occasion. Don't make me go over your head." She started visiting the church daily. Not for prayer, for inspections. She brought a light meter to test the spiritual luminosity of the sanctuary. She complained the pews were energetically stiff. She asked if we could smudge the altar with sage before the ceremony to clear out residual patriarchal energy. And yes, she really did accuse the statue of the Virgin Mary of upstaging her. She's got that soft lighting, that gentle smile. It's distracting. Can we drape her? Or rotate her backward? I prayed. Hard. The rehearsal was where things truly unraveled. Melissa arrived 67 minutes late, trailing 6 bridesmaids in matching lavender jumpsuits, all looking like they hadn't slept in a week. Tim? He shuffled in behind them, eyes down, shoulders slumped, clutching a water bottle like it was a lifeline. As I began explaining the order of the ceremony, Melissa cut me off, repeatedly. No, don't say man and wife. Say soul-aligned life partners. Skip the what God has joined line. It's heteronormative. And absolutely no mention of obedience, fidelity, or till death do us part. That's so final. I took a breath. Melissa, the church requires certain elements for a sacramental marriage. We can personalize within those bounds. But, bounds? She laughed, a sharp, brittle sound. Father, this isn't 1952. We're co-creating a new paradigm. You're the facilitator, not the gatekeeper. Then she leaned in, voice low and icy. Just do what say, or I'll have you replaced. Something in me shifted. Not anger, not pettiness, but clarity. If she wanted total control, I would give her absolute control. No interpretation, No pastoral discretion. Just her words, exactly as written. The wedding day dawned bright and clear. The church was transformed. Thousands of fairy lights, hanging floral installations, a custom-scent diffuser pumping serenity mist into the nave. Melissa arrived in a gown that looked like it was woven from moonbeams and venture capital. She swept down the aisle, timed, of course, to the second, while a string quartet played a haunting cover of Enchanted. She reached the altar, turned, and gave me a look that said, "This better be flawless." So I began. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today not in the eyes of man, but in the frequency of divine co-creation." A few eyebrows raised. "Do you, Melissa, take Tim to be your sacred mirror, your emotional anchor, and your co-journeying soul partner in divine luminosity, honoring his autonomy while maintaining vibrational harmony?" She blinked. Once, twice. "Do you, Tim, vow to offer non-judgmental resonance, conscious presence, and open-hearted attunement to Melissa, without imposing outdated constructs of possession or permanence?" Tim actually chuckled. Quietly, but it was there. Then came the readings. She'd sent me a Word document titled Sacred Texts, curated for our energy. It blended 1 Corinthians 13 with, well, let's just say it wasn't scripture. I read it verbatim. "Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. Unless your vibe is off, then girl, shake it off. Love bears all things, but not toxic energy. Set boundaries, queen." The congregation was frozen, half in shock, half in suppressed laughter. A teenage groomsman covered his mouth with his program. Finally, the moment of pronouncement. I raised my hands, face solemn, voice steady. "By the power vested in me by the Holy Catholic Church, and by the visionary event design of Melissa's Celestial Union Board, I now pronounce you eternally vibing co-creators." Silence. Then a snort. Then a giggle. Then full-on, shoulder-shaking, tear-streaming laughter. Even the deacon was wheezing. Melissa's face went from ivory to crimson in 3.2 seconds flat. She whirled on me, hissing through clenched teeth. "This is not what I meant." I met her eyes, calm as Sunday morning. "My dear, it's exactly what you wrote." She stormed off, veil fluttering like a battle standard. "Refuse to toss the bouquet. It reinforces scarcity mindset. Banned all photos inside the church. Negative energy from flash." And later screamed at the photographer for capturing her shadow work. 2 weeks later, a 5-page complaint landed on the diocesan desk. It accused me of liturgical sabotage, emotional gaslighting, and weaponizing sacred space for personal amusement. I met with Bishop Callahan, bracing for censure. He read the letter slowly, then leaned back in his chair and laughed. A deep, warm belly laugh. "Father," he said, wiping his eyes, "you didn't break canon law. You didn't mock the sacrament. You gave her precisely what she demanded, down to the last syllable. That's not disobedience. That's pastoral precision." 3 months later, Tim came to Sunday, Massachusetts alone. Afterward, he asked if we could talk. Over coffee in the parish hall, he told me the marriage had been annulled after just 6 weeks. Melissa had decided traditional marriage was too binary and wanted to evolve their connection into a non-contractual energetic alliance. He looked lighter, freer. "I think," he said quietly, "she was more in love with the idea of a wedding than with me." Then he smiled, really smiled, and added, "Father, I think you saved me." I patted his shoulder, and as he walked away, I thought about how sometimes the most merciful thing you can do for someone is let them have exactly what they think they want. Because in the end, Melissa didn't just get a wedding, she got a mirror, and sometimes that's the holiest gift of all.